Hi, I'm Rick Conlow. Thank you for coming. Our topic is the greatest leadership principle of all time. Let me say it again, of all time. You'll see what I mean as we get into it. Writer Edward Murrow said this: the obscure we eventually see. The completely obvious, it seems, takes a little bit longer. Now, let's look at 5 research reports, and I'll just hit the highlights of each of these. First one, by Yogi Berra and Associates. They said, it's a time management study, that 40 to 50% of employee time is unproductive. A conference board study found that 70% of employees go home at night and they're unhappy. They don't like the workplace. They don't want to go back tomorrow. And they tell everybody about it. The third one, a Gallup study, found that 85% of employees worldwide are disengaged. They're not happy either. And they're having problems. They're not doing their best. They're not bringing their best. And a Jackson ROI study found that companies with higher morale have a 3 times greater return than those with a lower morale. In addition, they found in that study that 90% of employees don't know how to improve employee productivity, performance, or engagement. And a Sirota study, the last one, find that higher morale companies' stock grows 19.4% on average, much higher than, of course, the lower morale companies that do 10% or less. So, have you gotten what the greatest leadership principle of all time is about? Let me share just a story, brief one, that will hopefully illustrate the point backwards. So notice that. Hall of Fame baseball pitcher Warren Spahn, one of the greatest of all time. He was in a ball game pitching, and it was the 9th inning. His team was leading 2-0. Bottom of the 9th. 2 men on. One of their best hitters came up. The manager called timeout, went out and talked to Warren, said, "Warren, now whatever you do, do not throw a ball high and inside. This guy will knock it out of the park." Then the manager went back to the dugout. Warren Spahn collected himself, wound up, threw the pitch high and inside. The batter knocked it out of the park, and the other team won the ball game. And later, Spahn's thinking, why would a manager tell me what not to do? See, think about it. Why wouldn't he go out and tell a joke to lessen the stress or the tension of the moment? Why wouldn't he tell him what he should do, where he should place it? So here you go. In reverse, the greatest leadership principle of all time is this: what gets reviewed, reinforced, and rewarded gets done. Let me say it again. What gets reviewed, reinforced, and rewarded gets done. Now, what is that about? That's about, of course, recognition and praise, focusing on what people do right, not what they do wrong. Many employees, those 70% that go home at the end of the night, they may have done 10 things right. The only thing that got noticed, check me if I'm wrong, this doesn't happen at where you work or places you've worked, they emphasize what got screwed up, the mistake. And so the employees go home and they're defeated. So certainly recognition and praise, more of that, sincerely, genuinely helps people want to do a better job. It builds their attitude, their morale, their spirit. And of course, it also involves the support and the coaching and the training, all done positively, the communication done positively with the employees to say, hey, you're our partners. You're part of this team. We value you. So again, the greatest leadership principle of all time, what gets reviewed, reinforced, and rewarded gets done. Now, all I can say is go execute it and make it happen with your team, and you'll be glad you did. Thanks for coming.